is Hope Warren, and I'm the County Extension Coordinator with the University of Georgia Cobb County Cooperative Extension. And today we are out here at the Farm Fresh Market in Austell. As you know, there's several farmers markets throughout Cobb County, and at the end of this program we're going to put up a list of some of the farmers markets that we know about. But what I would suggest is if you're looking for a market in your area, check your local newspaper and see if they have a listing. When you go to the farmers markets, it's always lots of fun. You're around exciting, fun people. There's a lot of activity. It's hot, and it's just a beautiful place to be. But what do you do with that produce that you get? And how do you actually select that produce? Well, today we're out here to talk about the selection process for that produce, what you can do with it, how you can prepare it, and if you can't prepare it right away, how you're going to store it. I have with me Cindy Sweda, who is our Family and Consumer Science Agent in the Extension Office, and she's going to talk about the selection, preparation, and storage. And then we have our intern, Kristen Layfield, who is working with this program out here at the Farm Fresh Market, and she is going to be preparing a recipe for you. Today, it is a non-cook recipe, but there may be times that she's out here that she's going to be cooking a recipe, so it's always going to be fun and exciting and entertaining. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'm going to pass it on to Cindy.
I've always said that you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So let's acknowledge this. 1 in 6 Americans now struggle with hunger. These are our co-workers, neighbors, friends. Visit feedingamerica.org to find your local food bank to help.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna be good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on.
I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
She took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
Welcome back. Kristen, tell me about the dish you have planned for us today.
Today we have a fresh zucchini, tomato, and corn salad. It's a real easy recipe. It uses all raw vegetables and it only takes a few minutes to make, and it's loaded with lots of nutrients.
Well, I see that you have zucchini in this dish. Is that right?
Yes, so zucchini is raw in this dish, which normally zucchini isn't eaten raw, but it actually has a lot more nutrients if it is eaten raw. When you cook zucchini, a lot of the nutrients are lost, so you're going to have more potassium and more vitamin C if you eat this vegetable raw.
Well, Kristen, go ahead and make it for us. Show us how it's made.
Okay, so we have 3 zucchini right here. They are chopped into half-inch pieces. I have 2 cans of corn. Now, corn isn't currently in season, so we're using canned corn, but frozen corn can also be used. Okay, and then we have cherry tomatoes. I have 1 pint of cherry tomatoes cut into half. And then a 1/4 cup of slivered basil. Okay, so that's all of our fresh ingredients. Now we're going to whisk together 4 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and 1 tablespoon of honey. And then we're going to squeeze a lime on top of it. And then just whisk these ingredients together and pour on top of the fresh ingredients. And then toss together, and you will have a fresh summer salad that only takes a few minutes to make.
Now, the recipe that you use, is this salad just one recipe?
Yes, this is one recipe.
So how many does it serve?
It's depending on what you use it as. If it's an appetizer, it can serve a lot of people. As a side dish, it could serve about 8 people.
Do you recommend leaving it in the refrigerator for a while before you serve it?
It can be eaten right away, or it can be left in the refrigerator for a few hours, and the vegetables will absorb some of the olive oil and stuff and give it a better flavor, and from the basil also.
Well, Kristen, I have to say that salad looks lovely. Fresh vegetables are right in season right now. The zucchini, the tomatoes. So it's a beautiful salad, and I can't wait to taste it.
Thank you.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans. These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids. Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. So is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back. Well, Kristen, we're out here at the farmers market, and you'll notice that we have a wide variety of produce available. And actually here in Georgia, quite a bit of produce is going to be in season for the next couple of months. As a matter of fact, you can find beans, cabbage, potatoes, cucumbers, okra, peppers, summer squash and onions, as well as blueberries, blackberries, peaches, grapes, and watermelon, and cantaloupe as well. So all of these produce are plentiful in Georgia right now. And so we'd like to just highlight a few of the produce that you can find at your local market that's readily available. So Kristen, we have a couple of items here on the table today. So let's start over here with our summer squash. Summer squash is going to be available through August. And today we have some zucchini. So if you were purchasing some zucchini, Kristen, what would you look for when you're selecting zucchini?
When selecting zucchini, you want to get a small to medium-sized zucchini. The smaller, it's going to have a sweeter taste, and then the larger is going to be more bitter. You want it to make sure it has shiny skin and doesn't have any blemishes on it.
And when you take your zucchini home, you want to make sure that you store it properly. So you're going to refrigerate it, and you want to use it within 3 to 4 days. Next to the zucchini, we have a very popular fruit that you can find locally now, and that's the mango. So Kristen, how would you pick a mango if you were shopping for a mango?
For a mango, you want to make sure it's firm to the touch. You want to avoid any blemishes on your mango and avoid any sap on the mango as well.
And when you get that mango home, you do want to store it at room temperature and use it within 1 to 2 days. If you open it and cut it, however, you do need to store it in the refrigerator. Next to our mango is our ever popular tomato. There's many different varieties available, but if you were to select a tomato, Kristen, what would you be looking for?
Again, you don't want any blemishes on your tomato. You want it to be bright red and firm to the touch with no scratches on it.
Thank you. And when you get that tomato home, if they're totally ripe, you want to store them at room temperature because tomatoes actually taste best at room temperature. And you want to use them very quickly within 1 to 2 days. Once again, if you cut your tomatoes, you do need to make sure that you put them in the refrigerator. If you are not going to be able to use that tomato before it spoils, you can put them into the refrigerator to prolong their usage, but they do taste better at room temperature. We have the ever popular Irish or white potato. It is also coming into season. You'll find them being harvested in June and July. And so if we were buying white or Irish potatoes, Kristen, what would we look for?
We want a potato that is smooth, dry, and uniform in shape without any blemishes or eyes on it.
And when we take them home, we do want to store them in a cool, dark, well-ventilated place. And potatoes are one of those foods or produce that we can actually store and use within 3 to 5 weeks. So it does have a much longer shelf life if they're stored properly. And then we have a carrot. Now, carrots may not be grown here in Georgia, but I do understand that Vidalia is actually venturing into carrots as well as onions now, so we'll start to see more Vidalia carrots. But if we were looking for carrots, Kristen, what would we look for?
You just want to look for a carrot that doesn't have any scratches or blemishes on it.
And when we take those carrots home, once again, we want to store them in the bag. If they came in a plastic bag, you do want to make sure that you're storing them in that plastic bag. And you need to use them within 5 to 7 days. So, Kristen, we've made our selection. We know that we have a lot of fresh produce available. When we are working with produce, we always want to remember a few safety tips as well. And so we have 6 rules or 6 steps to making sure that we are keeping our produce safe. The first is to make sure that you're checking it. And so when Kristen was talking about selection, many times she was saying making sure that it did not have any cuts or bruises in it. And that's very important. You do want, when it comes to safety, you do want to make sure that your produce is in good condition and undamaged without any cuts or bruises. The second step for produce safety is actually cleaning. And not necessarily cleaning your produce, but when you begin to handle your produce, use it, you want to make sure your hands are clean. So we're always going to wash our hands before we start working with food. And we also want to make sure that our surfaces and utensils are clean as well. So we're always going to wash all of our utensils, our surfaces, and our hands with hot water and soap. The third step is actually to rinse your produce. So we're going to rinse our produce when we're ready to use it. We only want to rinse the amount of produce that we're going to eat or prepare at that time. So what do we rinse it with? We rinse it with plain water. Plain water is just as effective as any kind of vegetable wash or even vinegar. Studies shows us that plain water does the same kind of job that a vegetable wash or vinegar solution would do. And we never ever want to use soap on our vegetables. When we're washing them, we can wash our produce, those with a little bit firmer skin, such as our potatoes, our carrots. If we had a melon or a cantaloupe, we could use a soft brush to wash the surface of that produce. But for our softer skin produce, such as our zucchini or our tomatoes, we just want to use our hands and gently wash that produce under that water. Once again, washing our produce is important, but we don't want to use any kind of chemicals such as soap or bleach when we're washing them. The third or the fourth thing, adding on steps there, the fourth thing we want to think about is when we are preparing them, if we cut our fruits or our vegetables and we don't eat them right away, we want to make sure that we're storing them in the refrigerator. So chilling them is very important. Also, if you are purchasing bagged produce, such as lettuce or salad mixes or any kind of cut produce, you do need to make sure when you're purchasing them that they are refrigerated or on ice, and that when you get them home you put them in the refrigerator as well. The next step is always making sure that we separate. When we are talking about separating, we want to prevent any kind of contamination of our produce. So when we're shopping, we want to make sure that our fresh produce is separated from any kind of chemicals in our shopping cart, or separated from any kind of raw meat, fish, or poultry in our shopping cart. So we want to separate it. When we get home, we want to make sure that we're storing them separately and away from any kind of raw meat, fish, or poultry in our refrigerator as well. And the last step is when we are checking our produce, we want to discard or throw away any kind of damaged produce. It is better by far to throw away or be on the safe side than to consume a piece of produce that is cut or damaged, because any kind of cuts in the fruit, such as this, is an entryway for microorganisms to get in it, and it could be a source for foodborne illness. So, Kristen, I think we've had a great time here today. We have gone over several things about the fresh produce, and I'm really excited about being out here at the market for the summer, and we look forward to a lot of fun this summer.
Yes, thank you.
Today is Saturday. Salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, double ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, sparkles next Sunday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
Thank you so much, Cindy and Kristen. That was wonderful, wonderful program, and we so much enjoyed it. I just want to let you know, again, we will put a list up of the farmers markets that we're aware of in Cobb County, and if you want to find something in your area, just look at the local paper and hopefully they'll have a listing. We are out here at this particular farmers market every Tuesday, and this is the South Cobb Rec Center, 875 Six Flags Drive in Austell. And then every Thursday we will be out at the same Farm Fresh Market, except the location will be Birch Landing Apartment Community, and that's at 500 Maxim Road, also in Austell. On the last Saturday of every month, the Extension office is out at the Marietta Square Farmers Market on the Marietta Square, and we will have a booth set up just with various information about some of the things that we talk about in our office. We educate in the areas of horticulture, of course, family and consumer science, which is what you saw today, and we have our 4-H and youth program. So if you ever have any questions about any of these particular areas, please give us a call. Our number is 770-528-4070, and we'll have a listing of our website and our address posted once the program is over. Thank you so much, and I hope you join us again.
land-grant university system was created to advance agriculture and mechanical sciences 150 plus years ago. And we realized that some of the research that was coming from out of the land grants, it was not reaching the people. So the Smith-Lever Act was passed 100 years ago. The purpose of that act was to create the Cooperative Extension Service, which was to take the research that was created by the land-grant universities and actually give it to the people who could use it.
And so that was the genesis for the creation of the Extension Service, or the Cooperative Extension Service, as it was called at that time. It was to take the research-based information from the university, from that land-grant school, and get it to the people who need it so that they could use it to improve their lives, their economy, and to improve agriculture.
Well, I lived on a farm until I went off to be in the Navy and to go to college. And my father was a very fine and aggressive farmer. And of course, the source of our advice when Daddy wanted to do something better or learn about a new species of peanut or cotton or corn was to go to the Extension Service. And they gave him whatever advice he needed. And it was just like a constant source of inspiration and advice and counsel, and sometimes correction when he was doing something wrong. And as I grew older and when I came back from the Navy and spent the next 17 years as a full-time farmer, I saw firsthand the great value of what the Extension Service offered to everyone in our county, not just farmers, but everybody in the merchants and others who did business with farmers and depended on agricultural income.
My earliest experience with the Cooperative Extension Service came as a result of joining the 4-H Club when I was probably in a middle school age group. They encouraged us to participate in competitions, and we had to learn our various project areas and make presentations in the local and the district competitions. And also, I began to show livestock as a part of my 4-H project and continued to do that for a number of years. So the Cooperative Extension Service and its supervision of 4-H was an important part of my younger years.
I serve Fulton County. It's a large county. We don't have that many farmers, but we have a lot of people. And we have a lot of families that just simply need help. So Extension brings that human touch to our community. We answer the questions directly. We give it to you in a manner that you can understand and you can use, and you can apply it immediately. So Extension is kind of like that friend next door. You may not talk to them every day, but you're really glad that they're there.
One of the advantages that we have is that we're always on the cutting edge of the newest information, the newest research that's coming out of the University of Georgia. And we are a direct source that our clients can come to find that information. We're a filter for that information, and we are able to explain it in a way that people can use it for practical everyday application, whether it's on the farm, in their families, or in their communities.
An increasingly important element of Georgia's and in America's total production of food will have to be designed toward meeting the needs of our own country and other nations more than it has been in the past. So I think the gamut of influence of Extension Service, I don't think has been minimized in recent modern days, but I think the opportunities to expand their influence has been greatly increased now and I believe in the future.
I think the future for cooperative extension across the nation is very strong, and I know in our state it is.
The simple problems in agriculture have been solved, and they've been solved for the last 100 years or so. Only complex problems remain. Our researchers on our land-grant universities working in multidisciplinary teams will provide solutions for these complex and complicated problems. But how you transfer that information back to the farmer, back to the agribusiness, back to the family or the youth development specialists through 4-H is going to be very different. That's where cooperative extension has always been good. That's what their strength is, and that's where we see them being so important in the future.
We're continuing to see evolution in the production of agricultural products, and I expect that to continue. We will probably have fewer farms, but larger farms. And the Cooperative Extension Service certainly has a role to play in that new structure. They've adapted very well to the changing circumstances and the changing economy of our country over the last 100 years, and I have every reason to believe that they will continue to do that here in Georgia for the next 100 years.
The most rewarding part of my job is being able to help people and provide current research-based information for our clients. They come to us over and over for that information because they see us as the #1 source of information that they can rely upon, whether it's for their farm, their agribusiness, or for their families.
Real life changes. Extension brings real life changes, and being that agent in the community on the ground, being that agent to serve is a pretty miraculous thing.
In all the ways that I had an early developmental life in earning a living and learning how to live as a productive citizen, I would say the Extension Service had a major beneficial effect on me.
RBIs and 36 homers. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it deep back into the stands.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.